Hi, Table Girl.
Hi, teacher. May I know what are we going to learn today?
Well, we have learned about the measure of length, mass, and volume in the last lesson. Today, we shall learn about time. Do you know why we need to learn about time?
That's simple. I know the answer. Every weekday morning, I have to wake up early to go to school. I wear my watch to tell me the time for recess and dismissal. I also need to read and know the school timetable so that I know which textbooks to bring and which are the subject periods that I am having on that day. Without knowing time, I won't be able to know when to do what I have to do.
You're right. What you have said are the daily activities that you do. That's great. But time isn't just about the activities that you had mentioned.
What do you mean, teacher?
Basically, we have to learn about the units of measure for time in order for us to read and tell time, as well as to calculate time. The units of measure for time includes hour, minute, second, year, month, week, and day. As you know, time plays a very important role in our everyday lives.
Teacher, I know those units of measure for time.
Brilliant! Let me show you with more examples. Do you think you spend more time staying awake or more time sleeping?
Definitely staying awake. I sleep for only 8 hours daily.
You're absolutely right. Now, do you think you spend less time brushing your teeth or less time taking a shower?
I spend less time brushing my teeth. I take about 5 minutes to brush my teeth.
Since you've answered both my questions correctly, can you tell me then, when do we use hour or minute to describe time?
Let me see. I know, hours are used to talk about activities which take longer time, such as sleeping, while minutes are for activities which take shorter time, such as showering.
Good work. Let's look at your digital watch. What can you say about the time?
The time now is 12:30 p.m.
Turbo Girl, time includes day and dates as well.
Oh yes, today is Monday and the date is 31st of May. Am I right?
Marvelous, Turbo Girl. Well, looks like we have only 7 more months until the end of the year.
To me, that is a very long time away from now.
Turbo Girl, you have learned to tell how long or short time is by looking at the units of measure for time. Now, we're going to measure time in compound units.
What is the compound unit of time?
I'm going to explain to you with the following example. Look at the clock and tell me the time.
It's 6:15.
That's right. The answer can also be 5:45 p.m. Well, can you then tell me how many hours and minutes is that past 12 noon?
It is 5 hours and 45 minutes past 12 noon.
Very good. It is written as a compound unit. That is 5 hours, 45 minutes.
I see what you mean. So when we describe or write time in more than one units of measure, we are using compound unit.
How old are you?
I'm about 9 years old.
You gave me your age in years. You can tell me your age in terms of years and months. In fact, I know that you are 8 years, 11 months old. This is also an example of compound unit of time.
Oh yes, compound unit of time in years and months.
Okay, have you been away from home before? If so, how long were you away?
Let me recall. I went to Korea once for holiday. It was an 8-day tour package.
How wonderful! We can also express 8 days as a compound unit.
Yes, I know. In weeks and days, 8 days equal to 1 week and 1 day.
Perfect answer. You've shown an understanding in your compound units of time. The last part of this lesson is the conversion of units in time. You will learn to convert units of measure for time between seconds, minutes, and hours, as well as for days, weeks, months, and years.
Teacher, that's a lot of conversion to learn. I am rather confused.
Yes, you are correct. But don't worry, we will learn them one by one. First of all, we shall look at hour and minute. To convert minutes to hours, we need to know that there are 60 minutes in 1 hour. 120 minutes will be 2 hours, as we can subtract 60 minutes twice from 120 minutes. The number of hours increases accordingly as we subtract 60 minutes for every hour. The conversion is more complicated when minutes are converted to hours and minutes. For instance, if you spend 140 minutes doing your homework, it is more than 2 hours. Taking 140 minutes minus 120 minutes, the remaining is 20 minutes. 140 minutes equals 120 minutes plus 20 minutes equals 2 hours and 20 minutes. So the time is 2 hours and 20 minutes. Turbo Girl, do you understand?
Teacher, if the time is 90 minutes, to change it to a compound unit will be 1 hour and 30 minutes. Am I right?
Absolutely right, Turbo Girl. Do you think you can convert from hours to minutes?
Shouldn't be too difficult. All I need to do is add 60 minutes for every hour. For example, 3 hours is equal to 180 minutes. I get that by adding 60 thrice, or I can take 60 minutes multiplied by 3.
Good job, Turbo Girl.
Teacher, what about the conversion of minutes to seconds?
Let me ask you a question. How long do you take to jog around the school field?
I think 5 minutes.
Okay, we know that 1 minute equals 60 seconds. To convert 5 minutes to seconds, we can either add 65 times or take 60 seconds times 5. The answer is 300 seconds.
I see. So to convert 270 seconds to minutes, I have to keep subtracting 60 seconds from 270 seconds until I can't do that anymore. After subtracting 64 times from 270, I am left with 30. Thus, 270 seconds are equal to 4 minutes 30 seconds.
Excellent, Turbo Girl. To do the conversions of years to months and weeks to days, multiplication is needed. 1 year has 12 months, and 1 week has 7 days. For example, Terry is 14 months old. His age can also be written as 1 year, 2 months.
I wonder how old I am in months.
Why don't you do a conversion and see?
Okay, I am 8 years 11 months old. To find how many months is 8 years, I take 12 months times 8. I get 48 months and then I add the remaining 11 months to it. Voila! I am 59 months old.
Saying your age in months makes you sound mighty old. So now that you're in primary 3, what do you usually do in your leisure?
I love to read. I can finish reading 3 storybooks in just 9 days.
Oh, that's fast. You managed to read 3 books in less than 2 weeks. Since 7 days make 1 week, that means you finish reading 3 storybooks in 1 week and 2 days.
Yes, teacher. I am going to the library to borrow more books.
Hey, Turbo Girl, before you go, do you understand the convergence of units in time?
Yes, teacher. I can now tell how long or short time is by looking at the units of measure for time. For example, 5 minutes is much shorter time compared to 5 hours, as hour is a bigger unit of measure than minute. Similarly, day is a smaller unit of measure for time than week.
We can talk about time and write time in compound units.
Yes, for example, my age in years and months is 8 years and 11 months, which is a compound unit.
Indeed, compound unit refers to telling time using more than one unit of measure at a time. Other examples of compound units of time are 2 hours and 15 minutes, 3 minutes and 40 seconds, and 3 weeks and 5 days.
Finally, I learned to do conversion for units of measure for time. To convert minutes to hours, I subtract 60 minutes as many times as I can from the minutes, and for each 60 minutes I add an hour. Thus, 130 minutes equal to 2 hours and 10 minutes. And to convert hours to minutes, I add 60 minutes for every 1 hour, or I multiply 60 minutes by the number of hours. Therefore, 5 hours equal to 300 minutes.
What about changing seconds to minutes or minutes to seconds?
I will do likewise as I have done with converting minutes to hours and hours to minutes. This is because like 60 minutes make 1 hour, 60 seconds also make 1 minute.
Very good. Similarly, we can do conversion between day and week as well as month and year. Just bear in mind that 7 days make 1 week and 12 months make a year.
Yes, teacher, I understand all that you have taught me today.
You're such a great learner. I'm looking forward to teaching you soon. Goodbye.
Goodbye, teacher.